An attorney for the family of police shooting victim Botham is upset about misdemeanor charges against 9 protesters who were arrested yesterday outside the Cowboys game. The 9 protesters were arrested near AT&T Stadium and charged with Class B misdemeanors. The demonstration was focused on the shooting death of Botham and another man who was killed by Arlington police. Fox 4's Sean Rabin now with more. Sean.
And Brandon, their chief complaints, Amber Geiger be fired from the Dallas Police Department and the charge against her upped to murder. Right now, the 9 still in jail. Outside of AT&T Stadium Sunday, a protest. The coffins call attention to Botham Jean and O'Shea Terry, shot and killed by police in different cities under different circumstances. The protest action expressing disapproval to black men being killed by police.
But this is exactly what we want to see people in America doing.
9 protesters were arrested for blocking or obstructing a pathway. Police say they were warned 3 times, first at Gate E outside the stadium, then on a frontage road, and finally when they locked arms at Randall Mill and Collins. Their civil disobedience, the active refusal to obey certain laws.
Reallyfe street stars, man. We in here with y'all might not know their faces, but y'all might know their faces, but y'all definitely do know their name, man. I guess they, notoriety. The Dallas 9 situation. We have 2 members that was actually involved in that situation. 2 activists, 2 brothers on the couch. We appreciate y'all coming through Reallyfe street stars. We're going to let you introduce yourselves, and we're going to get right into it, man. This is an open conversation we want to have right here.
What's up with it, man? It's your boy Shakur Six. Some of y'all know me by my activist name, or some of y'all know me by Lil Durr or whatever. I'm from the North and the Grove. Shout out to Too Deep Jungle West, you know what I'm saying? RIP YC, Free Fat Daddy. You know what I'm talking about? Thank y'all for having us and shit.
Real talk, wait, before you pass it on, the name Shakur Six, I really want to touch on that name, how you got that name real quick.
How I got the name?
Yeah.
It's got to do with some, masonry stuff.
Okay.
And I just put 2 and 2 together. It's symbolic.
Definitely. It's all that Brotha SHAWT.
Hey, man, it's your brother, none other than Brotha SHAWT, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm from the Cliff, too, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Dallas, I'm really from Africa. I just don't know what part, but, you know what I'm saying? Shit, that's my name. That's who I am. That's what I do.
Real talk, man. That's deep what you just said there, too. Man, we here for a cause, man, you know what I'm saying? I mean, technically, we should have y'all in here, like, every week giving speeches and liturgies to the youth, man, but we in here for a reason today, man. I want to touch on that, man. Go ahead and touch on the elephant in the room, man. There was a situation, of course, with brother Botham Jean, where he was, of course, murdered in his home by a Dallas police officer. That's right. Of course, you guys went out and did your due diligence for the society, of course, and recognized your freedom of speech. Protested and did y'all thing, and they actually. Well, let me let y'all explain it. Go ahead and explain what happened with the situation and what ended up happening as far as up to now.
Well, so it took place September 16th. We decided to, my brother invited me out to a protest that took place at the Cowboy Stadium. Throughout our protest, the police, Arlington Police Department decided they were going to teach us a lesson, you did, and essentially, arrest us for a traffic citation type situation. And, they took us to jail, and we essentially spent way more time than Amber Geiger, the white officer who killed an innocent man in his apartment. She spent about an hour, possibly less, in jail, bonded out, and shit. We spent about 40 hours. You know what I'm saying? And our bond was $100. You did.
Man, we're gonna touch on that in more detail, but just as a curiosity, what was the reason that they gave you as far as just y'all's length of time compared to her length of time?
What was the reason?
Yeah, as far as, of course, she got out quickly.
Right.
Y'all were in there for a while before they even knew what to even charge y'all with.
Well, they knew what they was going to charge us with, but the situation was like they was making teaching us a lesson. that would make an example out of us. Because first, we shouldn't have went to jail in the first place.
Facts.
But even then, we didn't see a judge until the day we got out. We went to jail like 8 p.m. Sunday. We got out like 12 or something Tuesday morning. But we didn't see a judge till like 10 Tuesday morning. But Amber Geiger got to see a judge within an hour. You dig, and got her bond. So you know what I'm saying. So they'll make an example out of her.
Definitely. As a curiosity, and I could let Shakur touch on this one. The Cowboy Stadium, man, that's bold. I think this opening. This wasn't. Was this first day one?
Yeah, this was the first game.
Yeah. What made you?
Home game.
Yeah. What made you choose the Cowboys? Jerry's World is what they call it.
Well, I was invited to it by former comrades to come out there and support.
What
it wasn't my initial protest.
What was speaking with them? What was the mindset going to the Cowboys on day one? As far as I know, you're going to be seen, but this you got to understand. This is Jerry's World, so it's like it's already going to be some shit. Let's just be honest. This is going to be some shit already. This is what makes the city money, the city of Arlington, and of course that's where you're going to make the most noise. But were y'all like ever concerned like, man, maybe we should do this or do that, or was this like, no, this is going to go down at this place at this time?
I don't know. I really never, gave it a thought. My comrades told me to come on with it. I came out there, because O'Shea Terry, because nobody went out there for him yet.
Yeah.
And, Jerry Jones, he got some, slave shit to say.
Yeah.
Like no protest and all that, and Dak Prescott. So, that's the perfect place to go.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
What was the goal as far as, was it only 9 of y'all at the time, or was it more of y'all at the time?
It was more of us. That's just the one. We just the ones, that was outspoken and more vocal.
What was the goal as far as just for that day? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go out here. Let's just, peaceful. Let's have a peaceful demonstration. Of course.
The goal was, let everybody know about O'Shea Terry, because that was the first protest for him in Arlington.
Definitely. R.I.P. O'Shea, man, for real. And of course, I know the Botham case got more light just because I guess the craziness of it all. I mean,
right.
and, I personally I've been following it, but I still don't know the details. I want y'all to touch on what do y'all feel happened in that situation. Just being a young black man in America, being from Dallas, knowing the history of Dallas, what do you personally feel happened in that case?
I feel like, man, the officer Amber Geiger, she just straight up murdered old boy. She went down there. It's been formal complaints she done made on him like in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, do you feel there was a history there with him?
So she know what's going on or whatever. So she just went down there, killed him and said she had the wrong apartment. So and they trying to ride with it, and that ain't what's up.
Do you feel that was her first time ever seeing him?
Nah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me touch on it, brother.
Obviously, she reported on him multiple times for noise complaints. So she knew him. She was a neighbor. And then when she made the police call, to report what happened, when they asked her what was the address, she went to go look at the door number, and just instead of saying this is my address, and then seeing that she was at the wrong place. So it's very many inconsistencies in that situation.
Man, and just my thought on it, I'm like, man, Mr. John, he had a red mat in front of his door, man. I'm like, that's a color that you just don't.
Right.
It ain't purple, it ain't blue, it's red is a color that sorely sticks out.
Right.
I mean, how does someone, unless something was going on before, how does someone miss that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Crazy. And as far as with O'Shea, man, do you want to touch on as far as your thoughts on that? What happened with that? I don't know if there's been any charges brought on that case.
There hasn't been any charges brought. We was just at, in Arlington yesterday at a town hall meeting with the NAACP concerning O'Shea Terry. And, one of the deputy of pigs, they came to speak to us and give us no answers. But we reviewed the footage, and the brother Duke He was the passenger who was with O'Shea Terry. He was at the town hall as well. And pretty much, bro, we reviewed the footage, man, and like it was just straight murder. O'Shea Terry was a cool brother. He even let the cops know that he smoked, woo-de-woo, all this. And then, you know, they was running game on him, trying to get him to get out the car. And the brother, you know, eventually decided, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't finna take this. They were profiling him. Yeah. And then he drove off, bro. They hopped on his brother's car and just like at least five shots. You did.
Definitely, man. And go ahead.
Well, shit, you know, it's been like 30 days and they still ain't released the officer that killed him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, he shot him before he took off. That's the reason the car went off, because he shot him and the body went limp.
Yeah.
So that's how the car took off, because it wasn't even controlling.
Man,
Yeah,
he's on paid leave, so therefore, you know, his family's taking care of everybody. And you know, and this goes into what, you know, I wanted, you know, definitely to bring y'all here to touch on, man. This situation, of course, you know, we do this Real Life Street Stars thing. We talk to entertainers. We rarely get into that conversation as far as what's going on in America, what's going on behind the wool of entertainment. Right. And it's a deep issue, man. It's like an issue that honestly, you know, you think it's going to stop. You think you've seen the last one, but honestly, I think more happens now than ever.
I don't know about that, brother.
Man, and real quick, Shakur, because you came in. I mean, you see have a body vest on, man, and you was there when the situation with the Dallas police officers got shot in that scenario. Tell us about. Let's touch on this. I want to go through both of y'all. Just for those that's watching, I want them to know y'all history in this. You know what I'm saying? Tell them about your history as far as just what you're doing, because this Dallas 9 thing isn't y'all first go round. Tell them your history as far as, you know, what you've been doing with this activist situation.
Well, you know, I came into the activist, you know, community in 2014, you know, with the Mike Brown situation, you know, when he got his brains blew out.
R.I.P. Mike Brown.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a life-changing event for me, you know. I felt some type of way that I need to get out here and get in the streets, you know. So, you know, I followed activist groups and shit, and I got involved. Me and my wife got involved for a certain amount of time, all the way up until my mom passed.
Yeah. You also got you showed us a tattoo a little earlier, man.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X, I really respected that, man. As far as that, Malcolm X had a different way of thinking than, let's say, Martin Luther King.
Right.
Do you side with one or the other as far as just your mentality towards what's going on?
Well, I side with Malcolm X all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my mentality.
Yeah. Martin had a more peaceful route as far as what he wanted. It took, you know, you could consider maybe a longer route, but it was a peaceful route. Martin, in a small amount of time from where he was in his life to where he, you know, where his life was ended, he sparked a different thought. You know what I'm saying? What did that, you know, touch for you personally as far as what Malcolm X's message was?
Well, kind of not really, you know, because at the end of the day, Martin Luther King, he was going to have to get like this man right here to get some results done.
Facts.
You know?
Big facts.
So that's why they, you know, assassinated him too, because he had power just like he did. He could turn and snap a finger.
Definitely. Yeah. And Shaw, go ahead and touch on as far as just kind of your history in the game, as far as what you've been doing, and you know, even your name. You know how you got your name changed and whatnot.
All right, so you know, myself, I happen to also be a artist. You know what I'm saying, a musician, shit like that. So you know, I used to go by Short or Short D. You know what I'm saying, but you know, me being from the South. You know, Shout came about, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when I came, started just gaining knowledge itself and where my people came from and shit like that, I just threw the brother on it. Somebody kept calling me Brotha SHAWT just because I used to just kick knowledge and it just, you know what I'm saying? But as far as, you know, how I got started, man, it was just studying. And I kind of got on the activist political front with Guerrilla Mainframe, bro, like in 2015, 2016. So this is definitely the Dallas 9 situation, not our first go around. And I don't particularly protest in that fashion, but shit, you know, we playing our roles. You know what I'm saying?
Man, and getting jammed up, man, and being in jail. What was everyone's? I mean, I know you can't really speak for everyone because everyone's not here, but just what was everyone's mentality towards like, hey, man, we going, you know, we might go to jail. Let's just stay strong, or you know, hey, I don't really want to beat this, but I'm, you know, like you said, I'm here to support, you know, and you know, for the cause, we gonna do this. Like, what was everybody's mentality before getting locked up and afterwards while y'all in there? Cause I seen, of course, the pictures, you know, that y'all took in there show solidarity. Tell us the mindset as far as what y'all was going through and what you feel everyone else as a whole was going through.
At what point?
Before getting locked up, as far as before you felt like they might try to lock us up.
Well, I could say me personally, I didn't really know that they was gonna lock us up because, well, like when we were done leaving the protest, like that's when they decided to grapple us, and they didn't even tell us we was arrested. We gotta stop anything like that. So. They had us on the ground, whatever, they did what they did. And we kind of asked them, like, we being arrested, woo-de-woo. And then they didn't, they obviously ignoring the question, not answering us directly or whatever. But yeah, so we didn't really know we was getting arrested or going to jail until it was about time to go to jail, you know what I'm saying? So, but everybody was cool. We were still in solidarity then, you know what I'm saying?
If I was out there, I would have told y'all. I was like, man, it's not really... when you're doing something, of course you're taking your Fifth Amendment right. You're doing the right. You're doing what you're supposed to within the law.
Right.
They will find a reason.
Right.
They will wait. I watch enough footage now to watch someone talk mess to a cop in his face. He just nods his head like okay, and just that one, just jaywalking, whatever it is. That's when they bring down the wrath of everything else, and they treat jaywalking as if you murdered somebody, because it's really disrespecting what they feel is they have. You call it gangs, right? You have the Blood Crips and the. Not saying the cops are gangs, but they have the gang mentality.
They are a gang.
They are a gang. They do, that's why the bleed the blue thing. They have a gang mentality where they will look out for each other, and then they will also use their force as a gang, upon you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it be reckless because you're dealing with human nature.
But this is whether if you're protesting or not, if you're standing up for black issues or not. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's not a infraction thing. It's not about breaking the law. It's about skin color. You know what I'm saying? It's about that and marginalize the people to have them funnel them into the prison industrial complex and go to prison and be slave labor. You dig? That's what this shit is about. It's not just about we protested and we were standing up for anything. It's about the whole complete narrative, you know what I'm saying, that's going on. So whether if you black, you protesting or not, you still a danger for you in this society. Like Botham John wasn't protesting, none of that. He was a church going brother. He was also working for an accounting firm, but he was also met by a bullet by a police officer. So it doesn't matter that what you were doing, what type of black person you are, you were still in danger in this country.
So with that said, because that's those are dangerous words where kids might be watching this and they might be wondering like what do you mean? What are you talking about? I have I have white friends at school. My best friend is white. In the world, the society we live in. What is your thoughts as far as the mentality of? First, I want you to touch on the mentality of what you feel the police officers. From what you see, from your experience, just growing up, the thoughts of the police officers, and then just your thoughts of like society as a whole. Like basically, it's 2018 right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How far have we come? How far have we gotten?
Man, that's an interesting question, man. You said a lot, and it being like we living in 2018, and so they say stuff like Tupac is a prophet because what he's talking about is coming to life and it's still relevant, but it's not that he was a prophet. It's just the shit he's talking about back then ain't shit changed. Ain't nothing changed. Excuse my language, but ain't nothing changed. And then since the inception of this country, it was founded on slavery. So America's never been great. So it's not that we've come so far. It's not that stuff has gotten worse. It's just we got cell phones that we can record it and we can pause and record and rewind and share it. Exactly. So we always have had police brutality. The police force comes from the slave patrol and the overseers who were keeping the slaves on the plantation. So we know where the police force comes from, and that whole culture of little kids wanting to be police or primarily non-black kids wanting to grow up to be police officer, that comes with the culture. You know what I'm saying? That's a culture behind that. And that's, when you deal with the fraternal order of police, they have to protect each other. This is a sect of the Masons. You know what I'm saying? So it gets deeper, and the conversation is deeper than just race, you know what I'm saying? But race is definitely an aspect in this the grand scheme.
So to even make it a more difficult question and answer. What do you feel is the fix, personally? Y'all both could touch on this. What do you personally feel is the fix?
It's not a simple fix, definitely, but a start would definitely be for black people to sit here and speak to each other, and we can have these conversations on platforms such like this, and just off camera as well, talk to each other, and we ask that same question on a mass context and individually, like what can we do? Because it's not just one single answer, but we do need to have our own nation, you know what I'm saying, and our own economic system that works for us.
Do you feel like because I was watching an interview with Akon, and he's like, man, I really hate it because, he sees Africa as a land of opportunity for his own people.
Right.
But he feels like, of course, a lot of Americans have been given almost a dystopic look at Africa, like it's like a third world country almost, to where they feel like that's not me, I'm not from there, I can't go back to there. When that's most of the skin color you'll see, and you could go there with the knowledge of an American and make millions over there, but there's a fear of the unknown. Do you feel like this country just, it's been around for 17, whatever they felt, when they made it, when they took it from the indigenous people. This country, as far as what it was built on, do you feel like it could change based on, you look at multiplication of a race, the Hispanic race is gaining majority, the black race is still the minority. The black race is the minority. Will black people, if you just look at the numbers, will we ever have a foothold, or will we ever have enough say-so to make real change? Do you personally feel that?
I feel it depends on what you're talking about, what context you're speaking in, because just the creation of hip-hop was a complete change on the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop itself changed everything in the world. We just didn't capitalize off of it. Every other race and ethnicity capitalized off of that. But if black people control hip-hop and those industries and distribution and entertainment, we wouldn't have, or we still might have gangster rap and shit like that, but the way it's affecting our community, we would have control over that. Right. We don't have control over it. And then the pharmaceutical industry is also being subsidized and marketed by the hip hop industry and mainstream rappers. So we know what's going on, bro. So I don't think there's a simple fix, but it's a large.
It starts with a conversation.
You're right,
and it takes minds. And let me touch on the society. Trump is in office, of course. We in the Trump years. I don't want to say and call Trump a racist or nothing, but damn it, he's incited some things in people that were dormant. We're not saying Obama kept it at bay or nothing, but they were dormant. He's made people feel okay to act out their true, whatever. What do you feel about, Trump, the America that he's provided right now, and just, being a young black man in this country right now?
Man, I feel like this, that's terrible, Yeah. That's gonna bring out, the bad in people, you know what I'm saying, and it's gonna make race wars and shit.
Yeah, just seeing it. Just seeing the rallies they used to have, I'm like, man, these are like KKK rallies.
Yeah, them Antifa people and shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
What's going on, man? Hello.
We can't act like Trump created racism, though.
Oh no, not at all.
We can't act like he was a spark of that. That's always been there in this country. You see what I'm saying? So when they deal with Obama, all that made them do was keep that racism inside and make it covert. So Trump is champion, giving them a voice, but Trump don't care about them people. So what really is going on is that innate being is just coming out. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is.
Do you feel Trump's gonna get 4 more years?
He might. Shit, I don't know.
Shakur, I gotta ask you this. A lot of there's been a lot of incidences, man. Police killing young black men. It's almost, if someone goes in YouTube and just put, police kills black men.
It's a new one every day. Can't keep up with it.
Yeah, the faces you'll see. There's stories you probably haven't heard. You're like, damn, I didn't even know that happened. You said Mike Brown was one that really got you,
that was mind changing for me.
Yeah, have you personally? Has one since then has been like, just be blatantly honest, has one been more fucked up than the Mike Brown, where you be like, now that's just
shit, the Laquan McDonald one.
Which one was the?
See, where he got shot 16 times in Chicago.
Oh yeah, that was bad. I seen one the other day. I didn't even know. Honestly, I feel bad. I didn't hear about it happening.
And the one in Box Springs where he shot him in the head with AR.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
Jordan Edwards.
Oh yeah, I heard. I didn't.
That was a fucked up one too.
Yeah, man. It's I seen one where the cat was in his backyard of his grandma's house, and he had a cell phone.
What was his
Yeah, Mr. Clark.
okay.
Yeah, that one really messed me up because he literally was just trying to get to his grandma's, and grandma was in the room right next door to him, and just to hear gunshots of that, 9 times, and they literally only gave him maybe 1 second to comply. Put your hands up. And I'm like, it's almost to the point where, like you were saying, they're scared of our skin color. As far as the case with Mr. Botham, you walk into a house, you see somebody, it's almost that, they're threatened by us. What do you feel as far as, what you would like to see to fix this scenario? What do you feel?
Man, I feel like we should, take the white cops out of our community. We don't need them. If they fear us like that, they trigger happy ready to kill us. We don't need them in our community. Keep the black cops in our community because they not killing nobody like that.
Can a white cop, or do they get trained to patrol the hood? Do you know?
I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure they take some kind of training.
I mean, because patrolling an area in McKinney is different from Botham. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to have a different reaction. It's a different.
You got to be from
that.
You got to
kind of be from that, because
you got to be from that community.
You know
what
when
I'm
it's
saying?
serious and you know when it's not, and you know when to turn it on. You know when to turn it off. And I remember there was one cop out in McKinney area who. There's a bunch of black kids out there, and he was doing a bunch of rolling, and it was some girl that got handled. And I just felt that was the ultimate.
Yeah, we was out there too.
Yeah, he just didn't know how to turn it off. Like they said, he came from a other height. He just didn't know how to turn it off. Like these are, just turn it off. You know what I'm saying? I say that to say, with the police force, they said something in the Botham case where they wanted to start a citizens police
review board.
Yeah, review board where I think, what is that? Where the citizens are reviewing.
When the police involved shooting happened, it'll be transparency right on. We'll know what's going on and shit like that.
But
yeah. So it can't be like the O'Shea Terry case where we don't know shit for a whole month.
Yeah. Do you feel like there should be? I mean, because sometimes it's dangerous to get information up front if they don't have all the information. Like, because the police are shifting through information. They might get a tip. That might be wrong. So you think they should just release all tips to the society? We're like, we got a tip that this, because it might be wrong, and therefore you're acting on wrong information.
I don't know about that, bro, but I know about, like, because when we go to these town halls, bro, and we question these deputies and the police chief, all they telling us is they're investigating, we waiting for all the facts. That's bullshit, though,
that
bro.
Is.
You know what I'm saying?
That
so
is.
It's like, what facts do y'all have more than what we already know? If we already know that this is a blatant murder, what other information are you juggling? You dig that that's going to help us prove this? Because if you had it, then you would have been released it. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't think that's the case. I think, like, when we know it's murder, we don't need all these so-called facts. You know what I'm saying? Charge, unless they saying if you do that, if you jump the gun, then you might not get the charge that you want. But I think that's bullshit too.
Well, yeah, because there's a legal system, and it has to work for you too. If it happens to you, you would hate for someone to prejudge you personally before they even find out. You would hate.
Man, if I walk in your apartment, bro, and I shoot you, ain't no prejudging my what happened. You know what I'm saying? It's not manslaughter. Exactly. So it's the fact that I'm talking about situations like this, bro. Like, we know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But the only reason she's not in jail is because she's receiving police privilege. The police union is supporting her in all of these pigs that do this shit. So it's not the fact about that they need the proper information. It's really they're trying to juggle the information and cipher through it to see what can they use to help them in their case to get them off. That's the reality of it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But I do see where you're saying from the legal standpoint, we still would want all the information in the case to present to get the right charge. But in reality, that's not what's going on.
Yeah, because I seen a lot of social media. I ain't gonna lie. Right when this happened, social media was giving theories, and I'm like, that shit sound right, and then something else will come up, and I'm looking like, damn, if social media plays a good police, but then again, also it plays an instigator, because you're like, not saying she should be safe or not, but I don't know the whole story behind it, and we may never know because it's one person's not here to speak on it. But if you move within 2 hours, let's say if something happened, without knowing truly what happened, maybe they were lovers. Maybe it was something like that. Maybe, you never know. It's almost dangerous to move with misinformation. I think that's where it's at. But a month, you're right, a month makes no sense. You have something within a month that you should put out. Yeah, that you should put out. If there's surveillance footage, why are we waiting? I mean, we should all watch it together. Why are we waiting for y'all to look at it, for people to come back and say it's been doctored, or it's not showing the whole thing? We should watch it together. Let's watch. When y'all get it, it should be out there. So I definitely understand the need, but which again, one thing brings up another concern. With Dallas, I do see the protests. I do see the marches. I do see some of the same faces out there, doing these things. I sometimes see a person that looks like they could be a leader of this thing, and then I see someone that I'm like, okay, who is that? But they have a big voice. What is just y'all thought process on when y'all do these protests, y'all do these things, with needing we're a long way from Martin and Malcolm, but needing somebody of course I'm not talking about Sharpton or nobody, but needing those kind of people with power that normally a society will be like, okay, we might give this person information and you talk to your people, because that's all it is, groups talking to groups of groups. You're the moderator, and I need answers now. Do we have that here in Dallas? Do we need that here in Dallas? Does it help?
Are you talking about like a central person or like
central
literal
person?
Right. I don't think we have that, and I don't think we necessarily need it per se, because when you do that, that's like a cult of personality. That's like you worshiping a personality.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And then if we try to portray these people as they're perfect, as they're not regular people, but they are regular people, and if we have one flaw in them, then we kind of discredit their message, discredit their movement. So I don't think we need that, but people like celebrities or people of influence, they definitely should have a role in the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You did.
So about y'all exact activist group, can y'all explain exactly what y'all are as a team, or what are y'all goals and stuff like that? What do y'all want the outcome to be? What are y'all here for? What do y'all do? What do y'all give to the public eye? You know what I'm saying, as a team?
Right. So I happen to be a musician, an entertainer. So like I said, my name is Brotha SHAWT, but I am affiliated with Guerrilla Mainframe, which is a political organization out here. So they do different things like self-defense training, teaching the youth. But me, what I do on my own, you know what I'm saying, I do music, and I put this message through my music and through the visual, and I'm out, you know what I'm saying, out here in the streets with boots on the ground. And as a collective, we're working on the documentary to get to show our who we are as a people, and to get the hood acclimated to this culture, and just start a dialogue between us.
Right on.
About the same, like he was saying, I'm affiliated Guerrilla Mainframe also, and we do weapons and combat training, and I'm also a boxer. I box
Right
for
on.
I'm a champion.
I got to get in the ring with you one time.
Yeah, I won the Golden Gloves this year.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Hey man, I appreciate everything y'all doing as far as boots on the ground, and I understand that. But as far as us getting a organization started, like the Nation of Islam, and how they grew up as powerful as they was through Malcolm X, like what steps are y'all taking to like if any, are y'all taking to like unify us to make it all the way organized? Because if you're gonna make an organization, and it has to be organized all the way, and it gotta have a head at some point, you know what I mean? So are we pursuing that in Dallas, or where we at on that aspect of it?
Man, I think that might be like kind of like an older way of thinking, cause like when you have like a central head, that's where you get the stuff like COINTELPRO, the CIA, and the FBI going down and infiltrating these organizations.
Right.
So we went through that, and even though like we still need organization, but you talking about millions of black people, different states, different cities, or whatever, but so there's definitely an effort, and the effort is creating this culture, the culture of being able to share information, to have this conversation, because we can't have this conversation with everybody in Dallas, you dig? So it's being able to inspire this culture, and I do that through my music. We do that through being in the streets and just talking to regular people, seeing where they head at, you know what I'm saying, what's going on. So we contributing to seeing this culture that we want to be a part of.
Yeah, and on that thought, I feel like instead of having a centralized head of an organization, thing like that, I think the use of hashtags, have become the forefront of solidarity and showing different groups in different states kind of going with one thought. Do y'all feel the hashtags work?
Definitely on some degree. They created the Dallas 9 hashtag. Yeah. That's something we didn't come out. We ain't know about that shit till we got released. You know what I'm saying? So hours after we got released, you did.
Now, how did that feel coming out? Y'all got a name, the Dallas 9.
It was like missing an episode of your favorite show. You know what I'm saying? And you was starring in that bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
I missed the whole episode.
We ain't know we missed it. So it was weird. It was different, but. That was like the only time we went to jail and then somebody cared about it. And that was weird. And
for millions of black men, it does not happen that way.
You heard me.
You get out looking around left and right like, where they at? Where my people at? Goddamn it.
Shit, so like everywhere we go now, it's like somebody spotting us. They go a Dallas 9 person right there. At the gas station and shit.
Do you feel like something that is lacked with all these protests is funding? He said, "Oh yeah, man, he has some thoughts on it."
Yeah, definitely. Even outside the protests, on every level is funding. We need to finance our reality because we live in a capitalistic society.
Exactly.
And
you got to fight fire with fire.
Exactly. So we can't be the love, peace, and hair grease people and talking to a big corporation, and that's not gonna move them. You know what I'm saying? Love and tree hugging ain't gonna move them. We gotta hit them in the pockets, or we just gotta invest in our own institutions and stuff like that.
So going to Jerry's World wasn't an intent to hit them in the pockets. Or was it?
I don't believe so. But like I said, it wasn't my plan, my protest. So my brother invited me out, and I believe he was invited out too.
Oh man, you gotta talk to the man who said let's go to Jerry's World. No. The reason I say that is because, whenever I see protests, it's like, man, we're already so in last place.
Right.
That when you're, I'm like, who has time to get off work to go to protest? I mean, I've been looking like, bro, I can't. I would love. I'm like 12 noon. I'm like 12 noon downtown. Meet us here. I'm like, bro, I would love to come on a Tuesday at 12 noon downtown, but I got to pay these bills, and that's kind of, it's hard, So I think not saying y'all need to do nothing special to make sure people come out, but what do you feel you could do different to get people to? Because these marches happen all the time. And, unfortunately, these situations happen all the time.
Right.
To get people to come out. Like, what more could be done if you feel, if anything?
Different things could be done, but definitely making it fly, making it more grassroots, knowing people, speaking to the community, just getting out and actually learning people in the community, and having a relationship with the community. Because when you do that, you can call upon them to come out to the event. That's one thing. But if somehow we can get our celebrities involved, our local celebrities involved,
Erykah Badu,
come on, baby.
Athletes, where y'all at, man? Y'all worry about y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of athletes, do y'all feel kneeling down does or do anything?
Well, it did. You got people talking. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, but right. But kneeling is like I feel like we're at war, brother. And kneeling is an act of surrendering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was like.
So in that context, it's not a good look, but it did what it did.
It did do what it did.
Yeah, I don't think it did anything like long lasting, but it did what it did.
All right, man. Man, what do y'all have coming up, man? As far as in the plan, I know you said, of course, you're working on some. I know you said music, and of course, what you're doing with the youth. As the Dallas 9, just y'all in general, man. I know y'all have spoken out on this situation as a collective. Are y'all doing anything together, man? You know, really, y'all need to be selling some shirts, man. You know, talking about
That
funding.
mindset.
You want to get some money, man. You gotta put some
Hey,
money.
hey, man, if the community was open to it, the people thought that would be a fly idea. I don't see why we wouldn't. But you know how just people think like you making money off of a situation, so it'd be like weird look sometimes.
But see, I tell you, it works both ways, man. You want transparency with the cops. People gonna want transparency with your books.
Hey, man, that's.
I'm just saying.
Fact.
I'm just saying. Yeah, what do y'all got going up next, man? As far as what are y'all doing next? And even coming through here, I just like I said, I love the conversation. I feel like it's a conversation that should be had on a regular basis.
Right.
But you might incorporate some on a regular. Just to keep it going, because that's really what it is. If you stay in their mind,
that's right.
It'll affect change.
That's right.
What do y'all have coming up? What do y'all have going on?
Just basically, keep spreading the word. You know what I'm saying? We've been hit up by a lot of media. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep spreading the word. We'd like to try to go on tour with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Speak to youth, speak to colleges, talk about police brutality, stuff like that. Like I said, we're working on the documentary with Pro South Visuals. Dallas Hood Activists, season 1 out on bond. You know what I'm saying? So it's some real fly shit, man. We had a protest or open carry march Saturday, 10-6. You know what I'm saying? Texas OU shut them down, had over 30, 40 brothers with straps and sisters with straps marching down at the Texas OU game. That was a move to hit them in their pocket. And we did that. We got stuff in the Pink's apartments. We give food and clothes out in the Pink's apartments pretty regularly. We did it last Sunday. We're going to do it this Sunday. We're going to have a whole 18-wheeler full of relief mints for the community. So we got a few things going on, bro.
That's what's up, bro. Hey, man, how y'all feel about the black churches in the community? Like, are they helping, or are they reaching out to help y'all in any type of way?
Well,
and just y'all full opinion on the black church.
On this particular situation right here with the Botham John, they finally, came out and tried to, assist us in helping, go about things, in a better way than what they've been doing. But before this Botham John, they was non-existent. They was non-existent.
Yeah, it had to be.
I would say it's been one particular church that I've seen, and that was Friendship West with Freddie Haynes. Other than that, I've not seen no church out here.
What did Freddie Haynes and them do?
Well, they were doing silent protests. You know what I'm saying? They were silent, but they were protests.
Freddie Mr. Haynes, Bishop Haynes. All I'm saying is just everybody close your eyes and imagine if each one of these churches said, next Sunday, instead of coming here, let's all meet downtown. Every church, let's all meet downtown. Just imagine imagine.
That's funding, though.
That's a whole
See who we want to come out there. We want TD Jakes to come out there.
Yeah, man.
But imagine if TD Jakes did it. You know
no, exactly. That's the because money's one thing, but power is another. And he's a man that actually does have power and can move with words.
But we also got to understand that churches receive subsidies from the government. So, it's definitely things that they have to do. They got to do what they doing in order to get that funding, which they won't. You know what I'm saying? So it's an economic game in that, too. You know what I'm saying? So, and also churches, what they do is make the people docile. They don't speak the Bible from a revolutionary context, but there is revolutionary messages within the Bible. You know what I'm saying to you? Whether if I agree with that book or not, but it's definitely in there. So, but what these preachers are doing is they're keeping the people from waking up and being frustrated about their situation and waiting until you die to have. Exactly. To have peace of mind, to have peace. You dig? So yeah. That's my whole point.
Well, my question was, I did hear y'all say y'all was gonna be traveling. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Going state, I guess. I guess different cities got their own organization as activists, right?
Well, it's not even just about the organization. It's about the culture. You know what I'm saying? So even people who's with this shit that we own, it's not necessarily that they in an organization, but they with the culture. They on that frequency. But different cities do have different organizations, but it's a national.
Well, with y'all as that organization, are y'all just based in Dallas or?
Yeah, we
Oh, yeah.
we just regular niggas, bro. You know what I'm
Got you,
saying?
got you,
Linked
got you.
up, but we're affiliated with organizations.
Got
you.
you, got you. Okay.
Then I want everybody to know, Dallas is the mecca of activism. We the home base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Texas. I mean, they're open carry, man.
I mean, even through the
can-
whole
can
South,
do a
Dallas
lot.
is the home base. Yeah.
Man, what would y'all, let's just fast forward 50 years in the future.
Right.
How would you like to see 50 years in the future?
Man, even sooner than 50 years in the future, I like to see black people walking down the street, socializing with each other. No Europeans in the vicinity of 50 miles, and if we are interacting with them, it's in a context of commerce. But it is not for them to educate our children. It is not for them to police us. It is not for them to be producing and selling us food and shit like that. So I want to have our own city, our own state, our own nation. We got our own flag. You dig what I'm saying? And we have our own political agenda. I would love to see that. I would love to see a society where black people are feel normal to be black, and we not feeling scared and frightened when the people we pay to protect us are rolling behind us. You dig? I would like to see that less than 50 years.
Sounds like Atlanta. I'm just fucking. Now, Shakur, now real talk. I definitely want to ask this to you because you do support the open carry law and being able to be not saying militant, but protect yourself. Do you feel? I mean, do you feel like having more guns is an answer?
I mean, yeah, it'll stop the police brutality because the police is out here, they gunning down people that's unarmed.
So do you feel like shooting back at police if you feel they're coming at you wrong? And I say it to say this. 'Cause I forgot what was the football player that got tased. I think he was a wide receiver for Seattle or somebody. But he got tased and the guy came at him totally wrong. To where if this was any other situation where he was not a police, he would have a right to possibly stand his ground. Do you feel like having a gun on you helps the situation when it comes to getting confronted by police?
I mean, yeah, because it's the situation when we shut the store down in Oak Cliff at the Exxon, we came up there, it was 6 of us with guns. They approached the situation totally different. They came with respect. They didn't disrespect us or anything like that. They was like, sir, what's the problem? Whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop. We're going to talk to the manager inside the store. Now, if we didn't have no guns, they'll be violating us, throwing us around, putting tasers, guns to us, all that. So when we got guns, they got sense.
Do you feel it's more important to know your rights, book by the book, or just know that you're able to carry a gun?
Yeah, it's important to know your rights because they'll try to, sneak some shit in.
I'm telling
try
you.
to see if you know your shit and sneak up on you and try to violate you.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
But they don't ask you, do you know your rights before they come to violate you. They don't ask you any of that. You see what I'm saying? And then even if you know your rights, they still gonna play you like you don't know them, or you know what I'm saying? So it's not about you definitely want to know your rights. You know what I'm saying? You want to know the parameters. But if you don't see them killing armed black man, that's not the narrative we hear. It's usually unarmed black man, or a brother who told them that he was armed and then he got killed. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want to have an arm actively, because if you don't and you in a firefight, then what? You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want to preserve your life.
And what do y'all say to the young black man or the young black kid who does get an attitude with police for violating what he feels is his natural right, and he speaks his mind to a police officer? What would y'all tell that young man?
Man, I would tell him, because I definitely understand the frustration, and it's a historical context for that feeling, that energy we experience. But most of the time that shit ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? Just going back and forth with these niggas, because they gonna wanna lock you up anyways and shit. You know what I'm saying? So just try to fight it in court if you can, but just do what you gotta do to save your life. You know what I'm saying?
To live another day down there.
Right. So yeah.
Man, that's facts, man. Man, it's a touchy subject, man. Like I said, this conversation, it needs to go on. It needs to, be broader. I want y'all to be active. I know people are watching this are going to be in the comment section. I want y'all to be in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna come at, they might come at Reallyfe saying this. I want y'all to be able to talk to these people because it's the ignorance in some people that don't know what they're talking about or feel one way, or they're secluded in their own little world and they don't know what's going on out here. Right. They ain't been to the hood. They don't. Yeah, they don't know what we see. They don't know what we've been through, which is crazy. But you can show them better. You can tell them, and if telling them is the start with telling them. Right. Let me get y'all to give y'all information as far as to how to follow y'all, how to get at y'all, music-wise, training wise, anything else. Give them y'all's information, man. Y'all go and plug.
Well, shit, yeah. My name Brotha SHAWT. That's BROTHA SHAWT. I'm everywhere. Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, everywhere. You can stream music, YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Also Instagram, Facebook, anywhere, you know what I'm saying? You can really tune in, Brotha SHAWT, and see what we doing. Also, BrothaShawt.com. Yiddy.
Yeah, man, I'm on IG, Shakur Six, SHAKUR _SIX_. That's where you can find me at.
Definitely, man. And y'all brothers got any shout-outs y'all want to give?
Hey, man, I want to give a shout-out to Pro South Visuals, Gorilla Mainframe, you dig, you know what I'm saying? Give a whole shout-out to goddamn me, the whole black family, everybody out there that got melanin in their body, you know what I'm saying? All that, you know what I'm saying? Give a shout-out to the black woman across the globe, because the black woman is God. We all came from the black woman. She is the creator. And just give a shout-out to my hood, Oak Cliff, Texas, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
I want to give a shout-out to y'all, man, for having us.
Love.
You know what I'm saying? Pro South Visuals. You know what I'm saying? GMF, Next Generation. Everybody that supported us when we was locked up and when we got out, and they're supporting us in the future. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the hood, North Dallas in the Grove. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's what it is, man. We got Shakur Six, man. Brotha SHAWT in the building representing the Dallas 9, man. I commend y'all for holding it down for us, man. Y'all didn't do that time, y'all did that time, but we did it with y'all, man. Like, it's just definitely love, man, having y'all here and just what y'all doing for the city, man. I definitely appreciate it, man.
My bad. I want to shout out T-Lo, man, out Singing Hills. You know what I'm saying? He my
T-Lo.
trainer.
Hey, Golden Gloves, man. Let's get it one more time. Man, we salute, man. Reallyfe Street Stars, man. Let's go and get it, man.
Hey. Y'all tune in to Reallyfe Street Stars, and make sure you go get that app off of Google Play. Download it now.